Hello Internet, Lieutenant Ellis here with the 299 Scouts, Dangerous Skills for Dangerous Places. Where I live, the lockdown is nearly over, so things are going to be opening up. The range is going to be opening up in a few days, so it's time to get back out there and see if all these drills I've been doing with my toy gun are going to pay off in IRL, the real world, in the validation. So, I hope you've enjoyed this series. It's been fun for me to make. The point was not to replace live fire, saying that you can just play with airsoft in your home all day and get nearly enough training. But like they say, 80% of your training should be dry fire for economical reasons, just to start for starters. I hope that throughout this series you've challenged yourself not just to practice, draw and one shot on target, which I identify as my #1 top priority. But once you've got that down pat, and once you can get like your rapid strings of 5 shots or whatever down pat, I hope you've challenged yourself to be creative and incorporate movement, whether it's sprinting into cover and taking that one shot, or it's running while shooting and shooting on the move. Immediately following that, for this drill, what I want to cover is changing your positions and utilizing cover or utilizing concealment. Now, cover and concealment is one of those things where people are going to sharpshoot you on the internet and be like, that's not cover, that's just concealment. Bullets are going to go right through it. And yes, that's true. But if you look at actual footage of shootouts on the street, actual gunfights, concealment often acts as cover. I know that John Carrera over at Active Self-Protection has cited this multiple times that, even though rounds could easily fire through that couch or easily through that sheetrock interior wall, if you have concealment, you effectively have cover because people are not willing to shoot at something they can't see. So before we get started on this topic, let's have a quick heart-to-heart. Is this something you're likely to have to do? No. As in, are you likely to have to clear your home in the middle of the night with just you and your lonesome and your pistol, hopefully equipped with a weapon-mounted light? No, it's not very likely. Second question, is this something you should do? Now, if it's just you alone with your body pillow in your bedroom and you hear a bump in the night, it doesn't matter how expensive your TV is out in the living room, you watch that door and you cover down and you call for 911 and just hold in place. I can cover that doorway all night and nobody's getting me. They might get my TV and then run away, but at least it's not me clearing my home by myself. Years and years of CQB tell me that I get shot a lot.
Them paintball bullets, they hurt? Oh shit! Fuck, I'm dead!
Even when I'm with a team full of 4 dudes, all with rifles, all with body armor, all trying to clear through a mount environment. So that means I have no business attempting this on my own if I can avoid it. Now the last thing is, might I have to do this? Is it possible? Yes, absolutely. So I'm in bed with my body pillow or something like that, but hey, my kid's room or my significant other is in another part of the room. Maybe we're having a fight and she's sleeping somewhere different than me, whatever. But if I have family members in another part of the house, you bet your ass that I'm gonna roll out of bed, grab my sidearm, and I'm gonna clear through that house so I can get to them and make sure that they're safe and protect them from whatever problems are happening in the rest of the house. So it's something that we're gonna practice today. So for this one, it's not necessarily a drill, as in we're going to be utilizing a shot timer and focusing on how many rounds we can get within 6 seconds or anything like that. It's more like a drill that you need to practice of comfortably and quickly getting into different fighting positions, negotiating a corner. So I have all the lights on just so you can see what's going on, but assume that it's 4 a.m., it's pitch black. I always recommend that you have a weapon light. You owe it to your friends, family, or anybody who's going to drunkenly stumble into your house looking to crash on your couch. I could go old school like X-Files and hold my flashlight in my support hand and negotiate my corridors like that, but it's an incomplete solution. The best solution is to have a weapon-mounted light. That way it's all in one package. Some lights you can use your support thumb and you can press forward and activate it. I prefer this X300 with the DG switch, a remote switch that places the activation right here on the grip. So if I'm holding my cell phone or a burrito that I don't want to drop, I can still point in, find my sights, and activate the light with my middle finger and engage if I need to. So links in the description for the X300 and the DG switch. Now the DG switch is specific to your weapon system, so you have to make sure you get the length correct. So look on their website before you go and order. But definitely a good piece of kit and definitely something I recommend. Alright, so I'm negotiating this blind corner. It's pitch black in here. I've got my weapon light, and I'm ready to find those bad guys. And there's two ways to manage a threshold, like a corner or a doorway, and that's deliberately or dynamically. So for dynamic, that's usually when you're a member of a team and you've got buddies with you, and it's like in the military or part of your SWAT team. You've got number one guy, he's going to have surprise, speed, violence of action, and he's going to take the path of least resistance. He's going to move in, pick up a point of domination in the room, cover the room. His buddy is going to be right on his tail, and he's going to butt hook whichever direction the lead guy went. He's going to go the opposite direction. He's going to button hook, and he's going to cover a second point of domination, and you guys are just going to dominate that room and hopefully kill all the bad guys before they kill you. You've got like a 3-to-1 ratio for assaulters versus defenders, all that good stuff. I don't know what the situation is in your household, but unless you're sleeping with a fire team in your bedroom, hey man, not judging, you're probably going to be doing this solo. So I'm going to be negotiating this deliberately, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be pieing this corner. And some of you guys might remember this. Pieing your corner comes from taking small slices of this pie. There's a laser coming from my muzzle to this corner, and as I approach that corner, I'm managing as much distance. The further back I can get from that corner, the better. It gives me a statistical advantage if anybody is shooting back at me because I have more space, and it gives me finer control. The further back I am, the smaller my slices of the pie are, and I have more control over that angle. Now, I'm here in this compressed space here, so if I point all the way out, and it's fine, but I'm approaching this blind corner, somebody can grab my muzzle and avert it, and now I've got to fight this guy. So I'm probably going to drop back in this space to that compressed high ready. If somebody is right here at the corner and tries to get at me, I can still engage from here. That's fine. And if there's somebody deep in the room that I spot as I'm pieing, I can present out and engage. So as I'm taking these small shuffle steps, I'm making sure that my muzzle doesn't protrude past the wall so that I don't give myself away. I'm making sure that my feet don't protrude past the wall. So I'm doing this right lean, and I'm stepping with just my body in line with this wall so that I minimize my exposure. I'm also taking considerations for having a shadow, taking consideration for making any noise. I'm still trying to get that surprise on the enemy. So, as I'm coming up, compressed high ready, just small shuffles, in. I see a target, present out, and now I drop back behind concealment. Now, maybe he returns fire, maybe he doesn't, but one way or another, I'm not going to peek the same corner. Because if I peek this same corner, that's exactly where he expects me to be. So I'm going to drop in, I'm going to drop down to a knee, and I'm going to engage from the kneeling. Hopefully then I've solved that problem. If not, now I'm thinking about whether or not I engage from the standing, the kneeling, or at that point I go ahead and enter the room. Depends on the urgency of the situation. So once again, compressed high ready, making small slices, making sure that my shoulder, making sure that my foot, making sure that my weapon doesn't protrude past that corner. If I need to engage something close, I'll engage it here from my compressed high ready. And as I peek that corner, I see a threat. I'm gonna go engage, drop down, and engage. And then scan and assess and finish the rest of that problem. Okay, so that's drill number 16, negotiating a corner, negotiating a threshold. And so this is something you should do at home. You should do these rehearsals, and you don't have to get all cosplayed up and put on your plate carrier and your war belt. In fact, you don't have any time for that. You're gonna roll out of bed naked, grab your sidearm, and you're gonna start clearing your home to try to get to your loved ones. So do these rehearsals, see how it feels for you, see where the lines of sight are, where the potential cover and concealment is, and that way you don't have to figure it out at 4 a.m. as you woke up with a hangover. So, if some of you guys have been in the military or part of a TAC team, I hope this didn't trigger you too hard with like, ah man, he's hanging out on the threshold, he's hanging out in the fatal funnel. And I agree, it did seem like a bit of a faux pas for me when I first started training this way. But times they are changing, and even the Marine Corps acknowledges that if I can get an 80% solution and 80% of clearing that room from outside the room, it's fine. I can pie around the doorway and I can clear 2 or 3 corners of that room before I have to rush in and finally solve that one last corner. So even the Marine Corps acknowledges that that's a better solution than getting in my tight stack and rushing in there and having to solve 2 or 3 unknowns in a matter of fractions of a second, potentially while all 3 of those guys are pointing in at me. So yes, rounds will go through walls, but people often don't shoot at what they can't see, and you're talking transitioning from the high down to the low while you're engaging. Hopefully that buys you enough of a margin to be successful in this gunfight in your living room at 4 a.m. Okay, so if you disagree, that's fine. Tell me in the comments why you disagree and we'll have a discussion about it, or maybe a follow-up video. But until then, keep training, be safe out there, and good luck.